This is where the fun begins.
I'm telling you, this finale, it's unbelievable how tepid contemporary art seemed compared to the passionate quality of this finale. So you have this like huge, it's like romantic nature painting, apocalyptic landscape of the lava. Lucas crosscuts the destruction of the Senate chamber, and you have the destruction of industry going on. And then, after all these horrors, it is so beautiful. I'm saying, my God, nothing in the last 30 years in any of the arts has been produced as emotionally compelling and significant as the finale of Revenge of the Sith.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking E.U. This is specifically for me to bring in a Star Wars enthusiast and question and discuss and have fun, a little quiz about their relationship with Star Wars. And we have Isma, right? Did I say that right?
Yes. Hello, OG.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, and so I'm so excited to have you here and give you this opportunity to, discuss and talk Star Wars with me. It's particularly about you, not me whatsoever. So I am pretty excited to have you here. And many of you guys may know what Talking EU is about. Again, it's about me interviewing and just having fun in conversation with the specific guest I bring on here today. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit more here.
Sure, thank you. And it's great to meet you finally.
Yes.
Thanks for the invitation. Yeah, thanks for the invitation. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Ismael Alejandro Moreno Osuna. My friends call me Isma. And I'm a cartoonist and character designer. I'm an independent artist. I'm also the creator of Nerdmigos webcomic. And I'm the host of Nerdmigos, the podcast, Geek News and Commentary en Español.
Awesome. Yes. And it's great to have you here. You want to say a little bit more about your comic, at least here? Just plug yourself a little bit here.
Yeah, the webcomic, I started it in 2009. And it was just about me and my nerd friends talking about geek stuff. And I did comic strips. I did over 100 comic strips, and then that went into hiatus. And then that became a podcast.
Awesome.
And I do a podcast every week. It's a weekly podcast to talk about nerd shit with my nerd friends.
Nice. Hey, we need more of that, right? Just to have fun and just disconnect from what's going on in the world today. So I'm going to say hello to a bunch of our friends here. Let me see. Let me see how to take you off as full screen here. It's like new StreamYards has. Oh, here we go. Let me see. Did it go? Hello? Am I taking you off there? No? Yes, there we go. All right. It's there's new features that I have not explored yet from what they previously had. So it's like I feel like I'm doing StreamYards for the very first time once they update crap on here. So all right. So we do have Scran, one of our mods here. Hello. And those in the chat, thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us and nerding out about Star Wars, particularly the EU. That's what this channel is about, and that's what you're about here too, is about nerding out about your favorite franchises and having a great time with it. So thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Dennis D, hello, how are you doing? And then William Ripke, where did Asajj Ventress originate? Well, she came from concept idea under George Lucas. For the film was not used for any type of Sith concept. And her first appearance, I think, was in Mace Windu's comic, I believe. And so that's where she originated from. Yes.
The Republic comic, maybe.
Yeah. So the Mace Windu Republic one. And Cannibal the Dragon is here. How are you doing? Melissa Lord, a channel member. How are you doing? Glad you're here. And of course, our Vato here, Soul Assassin, smash the like button. And I know I will get a strike for playing this, but I'm going to play it anyways because I think it is worth it. So let me see. Where is it? Where's my Vato one here? Or did I take it down? Oh, here we go. Oh,
right, this is going out to all the homies.
Yeah. This is for the raza. Yeah.
You trying to get crazy with this thing? Don't you know I'm loco?
All right, la raza.
Yep. Yeah. Going back in the day, let's see here. And we have Casual Chris. What's up? Hail. Recently, Theory is making Josh sound smart. I don't know between them two. I don't know if that's ever possible. That's another story for another time, though. And then we have Star Round 7. Hi, how are you doing? And those who are new to the channel coming here just for this interview, thank you so much for coming in and supporting. I greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button, subscribe to both our channels if you haven't, mine or his, vice versa, and share the love. So we have Double D. Geez, where's my mind going now? Double A. I'm not a dude, but I was like, Double D, what? Yeah, and they say yes.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. And let's see here. And anybody else rolling in, I want to say hello to. If I don't catch you, I'm sorry, but you guys are all welcome. Mr. Dystopian, how are you doing? Nazo is here. Yo, Talking EU. Yes, it's been a while since I've had a Talking EU. And Derek is here. Lore Master. What's up, OG? Who wins? Jaina Solo or Satil Sean? What do you think?
Solo.
Solo. Okay, so why? I want to know why. I'm always curious. I want to know the whys.
Well, that's the one that sounds familiar.
So Satil, you're not too big. You're not too.
I'm not familiar with Satil.
Okay, so anybody in the chat. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say anybody in the chat who wants to answer this question as well, feel free to do so. But go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Oh no, yeah, I'll go with Solo.
Okay, so Solo, you have the Solo. So who wins this one here? Solo or Satil? So we shall see. So let's see who have missed here. So we have Seth here and Son of Luke. Thank you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. And Double D. I'm always saying crazy shit. It's me, and I just roll with it because it makes everybody laugh. Yeah, okay, so
Talking EU Double D edition.
Yeah, Double D edition. There we go. Okay, Soul Assassin Satil, it was powerful, but Jaina got Skywalker blood in her. Okay, so this is coming from an Old Republic fan who his knowledge is more Old Republic than anything else. So yeah. So I'll take that from you. Yeah. And Double A, Jaina got the W. And then I think I skipped one. Jaina Sola is everything Rey wishes to be. Well, we're talking between these two characters, not Rey. She's not a Star Wars character. Jaina Sola, she's got the sky. Oh, I read that one already. I thought I missed it. All right. So we're going to get started here. If I didn't say hello, I'm sorry. At OG Star Wars, since this is the Halloween season, what did you think about the xenomorphs from Aliens being in Star Wars? They are there twice in Rogue Squadron and Coruscant Knights. I think they're an interesting addition. I don't think it hurts the lore or anything like that. Do you know about that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Okay.
No, are those like Easter eggs?
It's similar. They're similar species. Like you can say the Bong is other species and other lores and stuff. I think there's like inspiration crossovers in making certain species and stuff. All right, so let's get to this. And so I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to answer. We're going to create a conversation around that.
All right.
So first and foremost, what was your first Star Wars movie?
Well, my parents say that they took me to see A New Hope, but I have no memory of that. I was probably like 2 years old or less. So in Mexico, we got the release in December. So in the U.S. it was in May, but in Mexico it arrived around December, I think. So
Okay.
yeah, I thought I think I was like 2 years old. I have no memory of that, but I remember the Empire Strikes Back. So I do have memories of watching the Empire Strikes Back in theaters.
Nice. Mine was almost similar. I was a little bit older. But what happened was when Empire Strikes Back came out, we were going to go see it. Well, we did go see it in the drive-in theater.
Mm-hmm.
But before we did that, my grandmother and my aunt bought us the Star Wars movie on VHS so that we
Okay.
be caught up to what's going on. My family has always been big Star Wars, not Star Wars, but sci-fi fans. And Star Trek, all of that fun stuff, alien crap, all of that, So
Mm-hmm.
I landed on the Star Wars genre, well, like my aunt and my grandma and them landed on Star Trek. So
Cool.
that
Yeah.
is our introduction. So
Yeah. So when I saw the Empire Strikes Back, I was probably
Mhm.
like 4 years old or 5.
Uh-huh. And what do you
Yeah.
remember of it?
I remember I was scared by Darth Vader.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember a jump scare. I had a jump scare with Darth Vader,
Uh-huh.
and I remember the Hoth battle. I have a lot of memories from the Hoth battle, and
Mhm.
I remember I had to go to the restroom. My dad took me to the restroom because I had to take a break.
Oh no, yeah. Mine was basically with Empire Strikes
Hmm.
Back. I remember like feeling so scared for Han Solo as he was being
Oh
encased
yeah.
in carbonite and stuff and all that scene. That's the specific thing I fully remember and feeling the emotions. And it's crazy how our emotions when we watch something, whether it's like scary or it's exciting or whatever, that's the first thing we remember when
Hmm.
we recall these movies that we've seen at a very young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So between the OT and the PT, which one do you like best? The original trilogy or the prequel trilogy?
Oh, I do see them as one thing, but
Okay. Or what do
I
you
get I
favor?
uh, what
What
what's
do you
that?
favor more? What do you favor more between
I guess the original trilogy. Yeah.
the original trilogy?
Uh-huh.
And is it because it's your first, like you were like basically that was your first trilogy that you were, brought into?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's what. I think I've seen the original trilogy more than the prequel trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that's like whoever, like wherever you were introduced into Star Wars out of the movies, like the
yeah.
OT or the PT is what you probably favor the most. That's what I've been finding
That's true.
with
Yeah.
people, because I'm an OT baby as well.
Oh yeah.
So that's my love. And my, I will not give my answer if you don't know this yet, but what is your favorite Star Wars movie or which one is your favorite Star Wars movie? If you have to choose favorite.
Yeah. I think the best is A New Hope, but my favorite is Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So
Yeah.
mine is Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah. So that's my absolute favorite out of all of the 6 movies.
It
And
it, it only gets better.
it only
It
gets
only gets better with time.
yeah. So what was your feelings? What did you think about when you seen the PT once that came around and they started airing coming to theaters?
Um, During that time, I was really focused on on learning more about how George Lucas does stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew what his plan was.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to tell the story of Anakin Skywalker,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that we were not going to have the whole story in one movie. It was three. But so I think a lot of people went in with expectations, but I knew we were getting the whole story in 3 parts, so I wasn't like uh, I I wasn't like disappointed with episode 1. I loved it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like there's because the media hyped it in such a negative way, and I wouldn't even use hype. They basically just tore it down in such a negative way.
Hmm.
Whether it be like, oh, the aliens were racist, George is racist because they were, whatever the story is. That's where people started falling in step with the media about it being bad. And as the first movie of the whole entire saga of the movies,
Hmm.
it set everything up really well
Yeah.
because it made us understand Palpatine. It made us understand what was going on during that time to where like the Republic was going to fall. And then also it made us understand, oh, okay, so these Sith were gone for a long period of time and now they're coming back for revenge. What's going to happen in the next movies?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
and also when I saw the um, the media backlash,
Mm-hmm.
and also some friends that didn't like it,
Yeah.
and just in general terms some fans that didn't like the movie. I
Mm-hmm.
was surprised. I was really naive at that time.
Yeah.
I didn't know how fandom worked.
Yeah.
What I was thinking was that we waited 16 years for this, and you're criticizing it. I was surprised, right? But I didn't know that fandom is split in two, right? Fandom, the two sides of fandom are the cheerleaders
Mm-hmm.
and the critical thinkers.
Yeah.
Um, but at that time, I thought we were all cheerleaders. But yeah, that wasn't the case. But that was my lesson. That's something I learned from when episode 1 was released.
Yeah, and I think like, we know that, well, I don't think we know that a small majority or small minority can be the loudest
Yeah.
because they are such a small minority. And we have a question from Gibbet 21.
Hmm.
Nerdmigo, what's your ranking of the Star Wars movies? You have a
Uh,
ranking.
well, I would start with number 1, Empire. Number 2, A New Hope. Number 3, Revenge of the Sith. Number 4, um, number four is a tie
Hmm.
between Phantom Menace and Return of the Jedi, and
Okay.
number 5 is Attack of the Clones.
All right. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, we all have our ranking, and sometimes it's so hard because there's times like my close number, or my number 1 and number 2 in my own personal ranking, or at least I think that are the best out of them. The first one, of course, is Return of the Jedi, and the one that's a close, almost tie, is Revenge of the Sith. So I
Oh,
like the tail ends of each saga or each trilogy. It's kind of funny with that one. Um,
yeah,
you know, so.
yeah, and it changes. It changes with time. If you ask me again in 10 years, I'll probably have like Return of the Jedi number 1.
Right, and that's the thing with me is that like after the top 2, it can fall into any category, the rest of them, because they all carry their own weight and it's almost hard to even rank them. So when people ask
Yeah,
me rank your favorites, I can only rank the 2 top best ones. The other ones, it feels like they're just like all just equally um where they need to be together as part of this continuation of George telling his story, right? And then the
yeah.
EU is the thing that expands on everything. So
Hmm.
with that being said, who is your favorite movie character? Now I never asked you. I always ask for the favorite EU character. So who's your
Yeah,
favorite movie character?
yeah. My favorite Star Wars character movies or anything is Darth Vader.
Okay.
And I am one of those fans who believe Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker are the same character. So it's
Okay.
Vader, Anakin.
Yeah, so I want to know. I want you to elaborate more on that or tell more on that, because I know there's debate on like, oh, there's two. He's got split personality, kind of thing. There's that saying people talk about, and I think even people have made dissertations with psychology about that before. That Darth Vader and Anakin are two separate entities, or like has a split personality. So tell me why. Like, just summarize. Your example of it being the same character.
Yeah, so Star Wars is myth, and when I say Star Wars is myth, I mean that Star Wars is a collection of stories that tell you the difference between what is right and what is easy. So I think Anakin took the easy way, and I think Luke took the right way. So I think if I would describe the two trilogies, the prequels are about doing the easy, doing what it's easy, and the original trilogy is about doing what it's right.
Right.
So I do believe Vader is. I do believe Darth Vader is the villain of Star Wars, and I do believe he took the easy way. He did what was easy instead of doing what was right. And I just think we learn from our mistakes. So it's a story of not doing the right thing. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's why I like Vader, and he looks cool.
Yeah, and he looks good. And he scared you to death, so you had to
And
leave.
he's scary, yeah.
And so with
Yeah.
Anakin and Vader, then because Anakin took the easy way out, he's still present within himself as Vader, just changing his name and just going about and just raising hell, basically, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm getting from you, is that they're
Yeah,
one and the same. He
it's
just took the easy way out of
correct.
everything.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's not an anti-hero. He's not the good guy. It's a
Oh no, he's
cautionary tale.
never
Yeah.
been an anti-hero. And those
Yeah.
people who
Yeah.
say he is, I'm like, did you even watch the story? Anti-heroes have totally different, different backgrounds and stuff. He was not this person who is coming in and being this type of hero that shows examples of what not to be. He basically came in and, was a tragedy, Greek tragedy. And from there, with his choices, getting the easy way out, wanting to find how to save people and stuff, that he totally just, his personality in a sense of like moral standards changed. That's the only thing that that really changed, right? Is his moral standards.
Yeah, and it was his choice from the very beginning, from episode 1. It was his choice. So it is a story about choosing between what it's right and what it's easy. So yeah, the what it's right is the light side, and what it's easy is the dark side.
Right. And Scran has a point here. Vader being separate from Anakin takes away the consequences of his actions.
Yeah.
And that's what George was wanting to share, was the Greek tragedy and the consequences of his actions. And yes, through the Force, he did get redeemed. But if we look into like the EU and how the characters talked about consequences and stuff, Vader would not, or Anakin would have been persecuted.
Yeah.
So there's that thing, like as a physical being, he would have been persecuted. Through the Force, he was redeemed. And I think people fail to realize that and think, oh, well, once Luke redeemed him, he's okay. No, that's not it. He was redeemed through the Force. He came to the fact of like, how love is unconditional and stuff. There's no conditions, there's no possessions and stuff. And that's what his son shared with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a question for you. Another one like this. I have like a series of questions I always write down for these interviews. But when you went to go see Star Wars in the theaters down in Mexico, was it subtitle or was it in English or was it in Spanish or what?
I've seen both, but I think the original trilogy was subtitled,
Uh-huh.
and I do prefer subtitles over Spanish dub.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think the only time I saw it dubbed
Mm-hmm.
was when the special edition came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to see A New Hope special edition, and I got the wrong ticket. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was expecting subtitles, but they started talking in Spanish.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Like in like Native American culture, there's like you think Star Wars was dubbed in Navajo, I believe, and I
Oh,
think in
cool.
also my language Lakota. Um, so that has been done within like the last 6 years, or like even right before the buyout of the franchise,
Oh, cool.
and just a way to revamp our indigenous languages up here. So I
Mhm.
was curious about that to ask you, like, how was that for you? Your experience, was it dubbed in Spanish or what happened with that, and what was your experience with that? So that's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the experience. The other experience was that I saw the original trilogy a lot on
Hmm.
TV. On
Okay.
TV. So yeah, if you remember, you saw it once in theaters, and then you rewatched it in broadcast television, and then
Hmm.
in VHS. Where I am, I'm located in Tijuana, Mexico, which is just
Okay.
across. It's just across the border from San Diego, California.
Hmm.
So the rest of the country only had like one channel or one TV network. But
Wow.
since I was in a border town, I was getting the San Diego local channels.
Oh, okay.
So uh, the original trilogy, I remembered it was just the pen and scan version from broadcast television with the commercial breaks, and
Hmm.
then we got a VHS recorder like very late in the very late 80s. My parents are not very uh, uh, technology. They don't need the most current technology
Hmm.
in the house. So we got a VHS player really late in the 80s,
Hmm.
and I recorded it from broadcast TV. So uh, when the widescreen versions came out and VHS, it was a whole new experience, right? Because it was in widescreen. I got it in widescreen, and
Wow.
I realized I was missing like the 30% of the movie. Yeah, I didn't know who Amana Man was.
Yeah, that's that when it was back in the day when it was broadcasted on TV. If you didn't know the movie very well, you didn't know what was cut. But when you knew the movie very well, you're like,
Mhm.
"Wow, they cut this part out, and I actually liked it." you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah. So those didn't have a subtitle, so I watched it in English a lot.
yeah, nice. Yeah, I remember those days of recording on VHS.
Yeah,
So wow, and cassette tape.
yeah.
Oh, geez, calling back the
Good
day.
times.
I know, right? All right. So next one here. What got you into the expanded universe? So how did you get into the expanded universe? What was your starting point?
Well, this is going to be a long answer.
That's fine. Okay.
This is going to be a long answer, but I do need to explain myself. So, um, I think first of all, I think I need to explain what my Star Wars worldview is.
Okay.
So my Star Wars worldview is that Star Wars is myth, because that was George Lucas's intention. he intentionally wanted to recreate myth. So that's the vision. That's the vision of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I see, all the Star Wars I see, I watch it through the lens of George Lucas's original view, which is Star Wars is myth. So that's my Star Wars worldview. Star Wars is myth. This is in opposition to the sandbox worldview.
Okay.
Where maybe these are people that maybe they might like Star Wars, but they like the sandbox it provides more.
Yeah.
Right. So and it's okay. You can play on the sandbox as long as you're using that lens, the lens of George Lucas's original vision. Because because that's your compass. That's your compass in the sandbox. If you throw away that compass, then you're just drifting. You're just lost in space. If you're playing if you're playing in the sandbox without that compass, which is the lens of George Lucas's original vision, you're just drifting. So that's kind of the idea. I am observing these like two points of view, and you can see it in fandom. No, that there's only two types of fans. There's fans who believe that that George Lucas is the only Star Wars specialist, and that he constructed an architecture where that you can build from. And then there's fans that believe that they or someone else could make a better Star Wars than George Lucas, right? So that's like the 2 points of view. When they see Star Wars, they see a sandbox,
right?
And they love it. They love that shit.
Yeah.
So that they like Star Wars, but they like the sandbox more. And when I see Star Wars, I see a myth with a center, and that center is George Lucas. All right. So going back to your question, when it comes to the EU, I have more questions than opinions. And I need to go because I do feel differently now about the EU than I felt like back in the 90s, for example. So if I go back to the 90s, during that time, I was I didn't get into the EU for a few reasons. One was well, first of all, it was money. Because when I had money for Star Wars, I spent it on action figures, on my Star Wars Insider and the Star Wars Fan Club subscription. I spent it on the soundtracks, the VHS, and I didn't spend it on books or comics. So that's one reason. The other reason is that I was hyper focused on George. So I wanted. I was watching a lot of interviews, George Lucas interviews, and I wasn't really interested in stories that were not written by George Lucas himself. So I was really hyper focused on George. And the other reason, and this is the last reason. The last reason is that when something in the EU caught my eye, or things I was interested in. These are just likes and preferences. When something in the EU caught my eye, it was because I was looking for something that would expand my understanding of the movies,
Yeah.
or that it would inform my interpretation of the story of the movies.
Okay, that's
And
fair.
and I wasn't really that interested in what happened after Return of the Jedi. Um, and I wasn't really interested in what happened before the Phantom Menace,
Okay.
much less like thousands of years ago, right? So, keeping that in mind, when the two times I remember I was really excited about the expanded universe. Well, the first one was Shadows of the Empire.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And I remember I was really excited about that. I didn't read the book, but I read a few of the comics. I listened to the soundtrack. The score is phenomenal. I mean, it's not John Williams, but it fits nicely.
Yeah, it was really
Um,
good.
yeah, and what else? Yeah, I was enjoying the art, the Heidelbrand art,
Yeah.
and of course the toys.
hmm
So when the toys came out, I didn't get any of the new characters, but I said this is my chance to finally get a Bouch Leia, and I got
hmm
a Bouch Leia action figure, and I got the Slave One,
hmm
and I wanted to show you something.
Okay.
Yeah, since you show the commercial all the time.
Oh yeah, that is nice. Look at that.
Yeah,
Now everybody's in chat is drooling over that.
yeah, it says
Wow.
slave one forever, Disney.
Yeah, Bet Slave One.
Yeah.
Bet Slave One. That is base. That is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember I was really excited for Shadows of the Empire
Mhm.
and Boba Fett. I think the comic was cool. It was focused on Boba Fett. Oh, I remember playing the game, the video game that was from the point of view of Judge Rendar. Yeah,
Mhm.
I played the video game. So that was one of the expanded universe projects I was excited about. The other one
Mhm.
was Clone Wars. Clone
Okay.
Wars. Um,
Which Clone
th-
Wars?
just just
Ah.
Clone Wars. Yeah, but specifically the Genndy Tartakovsky micro series.
Yeah.
Uh, I know that some fans don't like the cartoony Star Wars.
Mhm.
I love the cartoony Star Wars. I'm a cartoonist and character designer. I'm obsessed with shapes and movement,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was in heaven when that micro series came out. I was in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tartakovsky did an excellent job. And you probably know this already, is that he and George Lucas, and plus the team are the ones that, brainstormed for that
Mhm.
miniseries. And that it was supposed to be just fun little exposition for, Star Wars as commercials and what have you, and turned into something bigger than that.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah,
um and
and George liked the micro series so much that he ordered more. Right?
Yeah, he ordered
Yeah,
more, and then he also wanted to bring in Tartakovsky as to oversee the rest of the Clone Wars
yeah,
project. Yeah. So you came in liking the games, basically the toys,
yeah, yeah.
and
The
curious
toys.
about curious about what George was going to do, like himself, and so that's very interesting because usually people come in for games or books and stuff, but you have the toys, you like the little micro series, and so on and so forth, and I think that's really really good, really interesting because, like, I mean, there's no wrong answer. But usually it's a game or it's a certain novel or what have you. So the toys, that's another thing too. There's a lot of toy collectors, or if you haven't began to be a toy collector or figure collector since the buyout, a lot of people have switched gears, are now looking for those items.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing a lot of a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
I
always
know.
on the look. Sorry, I'm always on the look for like how you can find the novels without the legends label or certain things.
Oh
But I
yeah.
think I really need to vamp up. Hey, if you're looking for figures that are non-Disney made, Disney licensed, I guess you can say, because they will have the Disney license on the box. This is where you can find them. So I think I need to, up my game with even on the toy side. So thank you for sparking that interest. So yeah. Yeah. And then we have a question from Double A, and I starred it to make sure that I didn't lose it. So Nerdmigos, have you ever listened to the radio drama version of the OT during your time getting involved with Star Wars?
No, I haven't. I've never heard the radio drama. I need to.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I have to listen to it.
Okay, so there we go. We have now you can easily find it. Usually you can find them on like YouTube or what have you. Maybe someone's asking to pick up a link for that so that you can check it out and stuff. It's fun. It's kind of cheesy, but they're fun. It's still George Lucas himself, but
Yeah, and some of the same actors, right? I read a lot of articles. I read a lot of articles about the radio drama, especially when they were doing the third one, the Return of the Jedi radio drama. It's so I'm just familiar with the radio drama because of all the Star Wars Insider articles.
Yeah. So Star Wars Insider articles was another way of you expanding yourself, even though you're at the time we're hyper focused on George Lucas himself. So that's very interesting because they do a lot of EU stuff in there. So did you read them from cover to cover?
Which one?
The Star Wars Insiders that your
Oh
sister.
yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you're like, I think so.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. I remember some of it, but I wanted to show you some examples of the stuff that that expanded my knowledge of Star Wars.
Okay,
right.
Go ahead.
So just thinking about expanded universe, or for me, what things that expanded my knowledge of Star Wars. So there's like some reference books or behind the scenes stuff. I love that because I wanted to understand how George did stuff. I was obsessed with George Lucas.
Yeah.
And the books I did read were more like the novelizations and stuff like that. So this is an example, and I know you know this one.
Oh yeah.
The
That's a good one
annotated,
to have on the shelf. Yes.
the annotated screenplays. This was like this was the closest thing we had to a DVD commentary. It's amazing, an amazing book.
Yeah.
Also, I have this one. I like art books.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
everybody's taking notes in the chat. This like we're going through show and tell right now. This is amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you remember this one.
Yes.
Yeah, the CD-ROM.
Yes, look at that. Is it opened or is it still?
It's open. It's open.
Oh,
from
okay,
the
so the
top.
way it looks, the way you were holding it looks like it was still sealed.
Yeah. No. I open it.
Yeah.
I open everything.
Yeah.
And now this is my holy grail. This is like the jewel on the crown of my Star Wars book collection. My very small book collection. This is a holy grail. Look at this. So.
Oh yes.
Yeah, this is from I got this in the Magic of Myth exhibition. This one is from the San Diego Museum of Art.
Okay.
Here's the postcard. This is the
Ooh, look at that.
postcard and the ticket, the exhibit, the museum ticket.
Oh,
Oh,
that's so.
with the audio tour, there was a voice of James Earl Jones.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, that is freaking
yeah.
amazing. Wow.
But yeah, this book is amazing. So yeah, if this just explains my whole Star Wars worldview, that Star Wars is myth.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love this book. So yeah, the other stuff I got, it was just the novelizations or like comic book adaptations.
Oh, look at that. That has a lot of miles in that one. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the novelizations, well, I read the original trilogy novelizations. I got a like a trade paperback that included the 3 novels.
Okay.
I had that one, and then from the Phantom Menace.
Ooh, you got the
Yes.
mall one.
Yeah, the Mall Serious.
Oh yeah.
Well, there were like
There was
4
3.
different. Oh, 3
Was it
different.
3
Oh
or
yeah,
4 or 3 or 3 or
yeah,
4, something like that. Yeah.
yeah,
The Anakin, the Padme, and the mall, I think.
yeah,
If we're missing one, chat, let us know.
yeah. I got the Mall and Serious.
Mm-hmm.
This one, Attack of the Clones.
Oh wow.
And I never got Revenge of the Sith, so I would love
What?
to. Yeah, I would love to get that one. And then I have this one.
Oh, Heir to the Empire. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, it's a very small collection. I have more. I have more stuff, but those are like the top shelf.
Yeah, the top shelf. Yeah, so so from you going from George, like being like really to George's mind, Star Wars, and exploring him and stuff, what was your turning point to explore the EU?
um, well, I wanted to know more about the Clone Wars. I was
Okay.
uh, I was just fascinated. I was fascinated that first I was fascinated with George Lucas's choice
Mhm.
in the choice he made for the movies to just show the very beginning of the Clone Wars and the very end of the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
and he could have left it like that and just leave everything to our imagination, but I was very excited with the whole campaign, the whole Clone Wars campaign they had with like all the video games and toys and
Mhm.
action figures, and so they decided to tell that story in a similar way that they did with Shadows of the Empire, filling in the blank, that blank
Mhm.
space from Empire to Jedi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just in heaven when the micro series came out.
Oh yeah. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I know that some fans don't like the. I don't know. I don't know if I've heard it as a criticism or just a comment that they complain about the dialogue, or that it has
Mhm.
very minimal dialogue. It's almost
Oh,
like
for
for the micro series.
yeah.
Very minimal dialogue. It's like almost a silent film, but I love
Mhm.
that. I love that, and I think it's part of the. I think it's part of the visual language of Star Wars,
Yeah.
because George Lucas has said that these movies are supposed to work as a silent film. I mean,
Mhm.
you can play the movie, remove the dialogue, and just listen to the music, and you'll understand the story.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
so this one, the micro series, I think it was an expansion of that idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember that so much as well. So that's something that has always laid within me regarding George, is like, remove the dialogue and just put, you could just have the music, because the music is the storytelling as well. And
Yeah.
I think that's what really made a star. I mean, John Williams is magic as it is with his writing his music, his composing and all of that. But I think that's what really made him a star, was how he put the emotions and he put the words into Star Wars without having dialogue.
Yeah, and also fans that complain about the dialogue in Star Wars, I don't think they understand dialogue in Star Wars, because the dialogue is part of the soundtrack. It's part of the music. So dialogue works like lyrics in Star Wars.
Right.
It's like you're seeing an opera, like a Wagner opera, and the words that the characters say are more musical than actual conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I hear people complain about the dialogue, I'd say that's intentional.
Yeah, exactly.
If
Especially when you listen to them
yeah,
talk with the
yeah,
music and stuff. Yeah. With
yeah.
the
If the dialogue it sounds cheesy, it's intentional, because the actors were directed to deliver those lines like old timey movies.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so when I hear the "What about the horrible dialogue?" It's that's not an argument.
Right, exactly. So with that being said, I know you're like you're getting deeper into Star Wars now and all this, and probably because of the buyout and everything as well. But what is your favorite novel that you have read, like out of all the novels you read? And it can include movie novels, because I still consider the movie novels a part of the EU, because
Mhm.
it's that beautiful bridge. They're all connected. It's one saga, and so the movie novels allow that interconnection, because we have, like, I'm surprised you don't have Revenge of the Sith novelization.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
must to put on the
Mm.
shelf, and you can get it unabridged through Audible,
Okay.
and it's phenomenal because you have all the background, beautiful John Williams music and stuff involved in it.
Nice.
Um, Must have. It's unabridged. So out of all the novels you read, what is your favorite novel?
Yeah, I guess the original trilogy novelizations. I think that
Mhm.
was the first Star Wars books I read, like novels,
Mhm.
and I think those are the ones that stayed.
As the trilogy, the OT as the trilogy
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
novels.
because
Yeah.
it was just one book. It had the it had the three novels in one book in one.
Oh, you got
uh,
you got this, yeah, the omnibus of it.
ah,
Yeah.
yeah, the omnibus. Hmm.
Yeah, whatever it's called. However it's called, the trilogy in one book.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the first book I had.
Gray Yoda. I know no Star Wars fan. Great. He was blue. Like, you can go back and look at these novels and then compare it to the movies, like the movie novels versus the movies.
Hmm.
And George gave the scripts, like the earlier written, like the ones, like earlier drafts of the scripts the screenplays to the authors. And so that's why you have a little bit of mishup of like, oh, well, this is not in the movie, or
Hmm.
they made Yoda blue and he's really green, because George was always changing his mind up into
Yeah,
the production of the movies.
yeah, and he did the same thing in the prequels.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that was something he did. And so they're trying to say, and since we're talking George, and we'll get back to my questions here. Um, they say, oh, well, George, he had all yes men. They couldn't keep control, or couldn't tell him no, and so he got his way, and that's why the prequels are so bad. But if they did their research regarding the OT, George was just the same, even though he had people who to direct. He wasn't really the director, or any part of the production, because it was his story to tell. And he was such a micromanager that he even made sure, like, even in the editing, that things went the way he wanted them to go.
Yeah, and also he is an independent artist.
Right.
he is an independent artist. So why would he hire someone that that is questioning everything he does,
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
or then will tell him, no, you can't do that. No,
Mhm.
he would hire the best and people he likes to work with. I
Yeah,
think Rick McCallum. I think he was a great producer.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so have you read any of the comics? Do you have any favorite comics?
I've read very little comics. I remember reading some of the Dark Empire comics. I didn't read the whole thing. Just I got a few issues.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading Tales of the Jedi, some issues of Tales of the Jedi. So I've never read like the a whole story, but
Mm-hmm.
I got a few issues,
Yeah. Okay, good.
comic book issues.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you were to start, like if you just start reading now, or if you start adding, what era, like what Star Wars era would you start collecting in? Would it be like, and I'll just give an explanation or give an example of era. So you have the Old Republic, and the Old Republic does include the PT, but the PT, the prequel trilogy, is the ending of the Old Republic. That's where we have the beginning of the fall of the Republic, Old Republic. And then you have the Dark Times, that's between the PT and the OT era. Then you have what I call the beginning of you have the OT is a part of the Dark Times as well, but that's the ending of the Dark Times. But you have the OT era, and then you have the New Republic era, so that's after Return of the Jedi. And then you have after that you have the New Jedi Order, which right now that's what we are doing a lot on our channels right now is New Jedi Order era, and then you have the Legacy era. So like if there's a era that you're going to collect in first for all your EU stuff, where would you go?
Well, out of all of those eras, I think the least interesting one is the Dark Times.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I think that the Dark Times were not meant to be explored because it's a
Uh-huh.
time where all the gods are dead, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
all the Jedi are dead. There's no the Force is unbalanced. So I don't know. I think intentionally there's not a lot of stories to tell there. I don't know. It's just an idea, but um, how about um, how about if I tell you a couple of themes I'm interested in,
Mm-hmm.
and you can give me a suggestion of where to start.
Okay.
So one theme that I would be interested in is the reputation of Darth Vader,
Ah.
because George Lucas wrote his arc to end with his redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know that redemption does not fix a reputation,
Mm-hmm.
and I can imagine the children, Luke and Leia, forgiving him.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that, but what about the rest of the family? What about the friends? What about the galaxy? How can you point me to something in the EU that explores that theme?
Okay, so for Darth Vader, do you want to know how he adapts himself in the suit? Do you want that kind of
Well,
thing as well?
no, no. After his death,
Oh,
what?
after his death. Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
what happens to Darth Vader's reputation after his death? How does the galaxy deal with that? How does the family deal with that specifically?
yeah. So like on Leia's part, that will go into Truce of Bakura. And I can
Hmm.
always DM you all these information and stuff too. Truce of
Yeah.
Bakura, where she does see a temporary force ghost of Anakin.
Oh.
And so they have a back and forth. I don't want to spoil it for you. And then Tatooine Ghost is when she finally forgives and steps away from her being afraid of her lineage under the Skywalker. So that's a great one too. And plus also exploring and learning more about her Skywalker heritage. Luke, we know he forgives right away, but there's a moment in time, and it's called the Darkness Trilogy, where he learns about what exactly happened between his mom and dad and who his mom is. And so he sits in contemplation, like, and I won't say anything else because it's like something you have to read, and about his forgiveness towards Anakin, his father.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good stuff. That's a good stuff.
Yeah. So you're like, I want to
And
know more about Vader and stuff. And if you
yeah,
want to know more about his adaptation into the suit and how he gets into his persona of Vader, or adapting to this new lifestyle, if you want to call it that, it's Dark Lord Rise of Darth Vader. It's a great
okay.
novel. And it's like, I wouldn't say it's moments after Revenge of the Sith, but it's right after.
Yeah, it's a continuation.
Yeah, and so you have a Darkness, or not Darkness. You have a Dark Lord trilogy. So it's the Labyrinth of Evil, it's Revenge of
Yeah.
the Sith novelization, and then it's Dark Lord Rise of Darth Vader.
Yeah, I gotta get those. I gotta get those.
Yes.
And
So,
and and the other theme I would be interested in is Qui-Gon Jinn. So I think when some people watch the Phantom Menace, some people don't realize that Qui-Gon Jinn is the center of the story in the Phantom Menace. I think George Lucas wrote him to be the quintessential Jedi.
yeah.
Um, and I think that that's something that Disney doesn't understand. That when we see the Jedi in the prequels, these Jedi are not like the best version of the Jedi in their thousands of years of existence. Where we're looking at the Jedi uh, at the very end, of the Jedi Order, and it's a Jedi Order that is going down with um, a decaying republic. So the republic is going down, and it's taking the Jedi with them. So these are not the best versions. This is not the best version of the Jedi Order, except for Qui-Gon Jinn. I think he's the last Jedi that remains of the last great Jedis. And
Yeah.
so I don't think Disney understands that. I don't think they understand that if you go back in time, you would see more Jedi like Qui-Gon Jinn, not like the ones we saw in the Ascolite.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in Qui-Gon Jinn to learn more about him. Do you know if there's anything in the EU that
Yes.
would show me more of Qui-Gon Jinn?
Yes. So there's a series called Republic Comics, and it's by Jan and John, Jan Dursema and John Ostrander. And she's the one who was given permission to pick a character out of the Phantom Menace and take and expand on it. So she's seen that character, like you said, and she's the one that brought the character to life for Star Wars, for George and stuff like that. And so it's a Republic Comics. I will give you the exact numbers and, exact names and numbers so that you can read about them, about him and his story. And his story correlates with Asajj Ventress, or not Asajj, I'm sorry, Ayla Secura.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And,
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So with that being said, who's your favorite character for the EU?
Yeah, I would have to say Asajj Ventress from the Micro series, and there's a couple of reasons why. But I know that Asajj Ventress in the Micro series, some would say she's one-dimensional. Because she's lacking the origin story from the comics, which I did get the action figure from the comics.
Yeah.
This is Asajj Ventress from the comics, the Republic comics.
Yeah, look at that.
But I mean, come on, the Gandhi design, the Gandhi character design, that's awesome. But yeah, I think the reason I like Asajj Ventress is because she the concept of a Sith apprentice,
Mhm.
or the concept of a such ventress entering the stage, I think it reinforces the concept of the rule of two.
Mhm.
So some people might say that it contradicts the rule of two, but I think it reinforces it,
Mhm.
because George Lucas explained that the the Sith master and apprentice relationship is a cancerous relationship, where
Mhm.
the master is always looking for a new apprentice. He's always looking to replace the apprentice with someone better,
Mhm.
and the apprentice always wants to kill the master and become the
Mhm.
master.
Mhm.
And so they're always killing each other, right?
Right.
Uh, so it makes sense. As such ventures makes sense for me, because of course Count Dooku would have a secret apprentice, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I'm sure Sidious had his eye on other apprentices when he had Dooku, or even when he had Maul. So that's the that I think it reinforces that. So I think it's a cool character. I think her 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 introduction in the micro series was very cool, and she has a great lightsaber duel with Anakin.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for her dynamics with Doku, and she was more of a assassin,
Mhm.
an acolyte, but when acolyte, the term acolyte was better for the
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
Star Wars, Star
Mhm.
Wars in general, not how it was basically tainted by what Disney did.
Mhm.
So she was basically came in as his acolyte, his assassin. However, we'll never know if anything had happened, what happened if Doku would have killed Sidious, would she have then been his apprentice? We would never
Yeah.
know that. But she was very, very clever, very, very brutal. She was very, very gifted in the force. Of course, that's why she was chosen by him in a sense. Of course, she had her battle to win his acceptance. Basically, she
Yeah.
had to prove herself, and that's another thing too, is that they always have to um, prove themselves to their masters and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
do you?
There's a line in the micro series. If
Uh
I'm
huh.
if I remember correctly, I'm also I don't trust my memory, but if I
That's
remember
okay.
correct, if I remember
That's okay.
correctly, in the micro series, there's a line where such ventress says, "I am Sith," and Count Dooku just laughs at her.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He corrects
Yeah.
her. He's like, "No, you're
Yeah,
not."
but
Yeah.
the seed for her becoming an apprentice is there.
Yeah, exactly. And
Mhm.
so, I like to ask quizzes or quiz questions, or at least knowledgeable questions. So, like, and it's not to make fun of anything or your knowledge or anything like that. It's just
Oh,
for all
I
fun.
suck
So,
at
you
trivia.
know, so it's a little trivia here. And if you know it, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool, because then you'll learn a little bit more, and then it'll get you more like, oh, I want to read more about her now. I want to understand why this happened to her and stuff like that. So do you know who her Asajj Jedi Master was? Because she was a Jedi
Oh,
before.
yeah. No, I don't. I don't.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
so she was a Jedi. She was a Padawan. She had her master. And TCW really ruins her character as who she as a Ratataki, and stuff like
Rat-a-tat.
that. Yeah, Ratatat. Yeah, and that whole arc, and why she has her tattoos and stuff like that. But her master was Kai Narek.
Chimeric. Okay.
Kai Narek. Yeah. So that's something to look into. Hopefully that sparks your interest. I'm like, I want to find out more.
Yeah.
And I would say, don't trust what you read in Wikipedia. I'll have a bits of the
Oh
truth.
no.
Yeah,
No.
but other than that, it's going to screw up her arc so much because
Yeah.
of the Dathomirian bullcrap. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love I love a such interest in the micro series, but I know she is lacking the origin story that the such Ventress has that such Ventress has in the Republic comics.
Yeah, exactly. And and that's the other thing. Republic Comics is something, since you like that era, that time frame so much. The Republic Comics is part of Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, the Clone Wars 03, and the Republic Comics. All of that is the multimedia project for the Clone Wars.
Yeah, they don't contradict themselves, right?
Exactly. So let's see here. So what do you think about the TCW's version of Asajj being Dathomirian?
Yeah, I don't mind that too much. I think the problem I have with Asajj in the Clone Wars is the same problem I have with Ahsoka, that they're still there. I think George intended. I think George had an arc in mind for them, but I don't know when. They're still there in Disney Star Wars. They're still there, and Asajj is becoming a good guy, and and Ahsoka is now like an immortal. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I just the only problem I have with Ahsoka in the Clone Wars is that she's still there.
She will never go away.
Yeah.
He's gonna make her immortal. I have this thing here, and I'm waiting to do my part 3, but I'm guessing that because I already guessed she's gonna be made in some Gandalf type character. He kind of confirmed that. And so now I'm like, is she gonna be some kind of Force goddess? Watch. I'm waiting to hear about this so I can do my part 3 on this prediction that I've been. So I'm just sitting back and watching, observing what's going to happen with that character.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thing where it's a thing of people saying, well, George, TCW is George's, it's his baby, so everything that was done in there, he wanted retconned and stuff. What do you think about that kind of talk about TCW and George with Filoni?
I think I'm always going to celebrate George Lucas's contributions to Star Wars, any Star Wars. And when it comes to the Clone Wars, I think you do need to split it in different parts. I think seasons 1 through 3, seasons 1, 2, and 3, I think they're mostly all George. Seasons 4 and 5 are debatable, and seasons 6 and 7 are all Filoni.
Yeah.
So if we focus on the first 3 seasons, there's a lot of great stuff that came from a lot of core concepts and that came from George, and there was he was heavily involved. He was heavily involved in the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, and that's been documented. He's even, I can't find it anymore, and sometimes I think under Disney now that they mandate some things taken down so people can't that because
rewriting history.
Exactly, because I wish I would have just downloaded that conversation with George about TCW, but he's like, we brought in Filoni. I was there for the first 2 or 3 seasons, getting him started, and then basically handed off to him. And he also was doing other movies like, Red Tail Hawks and, one of the Indiana Jones, I think it was Crystal Skull. I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but during that time. And so he left Filoni to his own, his own creativity, I guess you can say, if that even exists in that man. But anyways, yeah, so that's why I agree with you. It's debatable, and it has been debated many, many times about TCW after season 3, even including season 3 with George's involvement. But even Filoni himself has said George stepped away and maybe only came in like once every week, if at best, to review what they have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, or what are your thoughts about Katie Lucas writing for the Clone Wars?
I think that again, she wrote, and she was brought in and she wrote, and I think Asajj, wasn't Asajj the main character she wanted to write for, right? I believe so.
She wrote some Asajj stories, but she wrote a bunch of episodes during season 3.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's another bunch that were not produced.
yeah. And I remember that too. What I think is that she's her own entity. And people try to use her as, oh, well, that's George's daughter, so she counts as being George. And I'm like, no, she's her own entity.
Yeah.
And she's responsible for what she writes, puts out, if it's approved or not. And so I don't see her in the likings of her father. When it comes to that, she was just a contributor to that storyline.
Yeah.
And that's all. And so I don't do the adhere to appeal to authority kind of fallacy when it comes to her, because she's not the authority.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she didn't even want to be an heir to the franchise or to Lucasfilm. So why would she be an authority to it when she didn't even want to, help take over or help run the business or whatever? He brought in Kathleen Kennedy for that. Yeah. So I'm like, no, she's a kid, but and it doesn't mean that she knows best either.
Yeah.
And she even called Filoni out on some of his things about, like, even Maul, saying, oh, basically trying to take credit for Maul, or for you bringing Maul back and, giving him the synthetic legs and stuff. And she's like, no, that came from the EU, kind of thing. So she even called him out on some of his missteps and stuff.
Yeah, that's another character that's still there.
I know, it's still there.
He had an arc, and he's still there.
Yeah, and going back to the Phantom Menace, because I know you said you enjoyed that. Do you think that Maul played his role and he was done after that? Because it did set up the arc between Qui-Gon passing down the torch to Obi-Wan to take on Anakin, in a sense.
Yeah, I think that's why he's there in the Phantom Menace. He is, and I like I always like the look, right? The character design. It's there's nothing subtle of of Maul. He is the devil. He is the devil from hell. And I do like this idea that that he the dual represents the like two different paths for Anakin. I mean, if Qui-Gon would have trained Anakin, it would have been a whole different story. I do believe. I think I spoke about the difference between doing the right thing and doing the EC thing. I think Qui-Gon would have showed him the way, the right way. And so it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy that's a power of the power of Darth Maul as a mythical character in Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. And it's Anakin's supposed to fall. So, so that means Maul was supposed to die, in the sense of the story, because then that's the one thing that fully brought in Anakin under Obi-Wan and stuff. And which I think was really good, because you have to go into the mythos. You have to have those type of falls and to bring them through the future and stuff. And that magic of myth, doesn't necessarily tell, because I have that book too, about Anakin in general for the PT, but it does put some reference back into Vader and all of that in some ways of like him with the helmet and what it's about and stuff. And it gets into the mythologies. And I wish they would have done a part 2 for the PT, because that would have been great.
Oh yeah.
That would have been great. Yes, it would.
Yeah, I remember that exhibition had a few pieces from the Phantom Menace, from the production of the Phantom Menace, concept art, costumes, and props. And only a few from the Phantom Menace.
And then so the Black Death said, the Black Death said George did want to bring Maul back for his sequel trilogy at least. And, I'm going to say this here and I'll get your answer too, or your thought. George, like all these ideas for a sequel trilogy treatment that George wrote out was a part of selling, like negotiating to sell the franchise to Disney. He needed a bargain chip. They wanted to bring back the big 3, and so he wrote these out. Now, he always said, even after the purchase of Lucasfilm by Disney, is that he was never going to do a sequel trilogy. So when people say, well, this is part of his sequel trilogy, no, these were ideas he written for Disney. So what do you think about that? What are your thoughts about that? About Maul being put into George's ideas for a sequel trilogy?
Yeah, well, when it comes to Maul, I don't mind. I don't mind that much. Maul surviving, just surviving the Phantom Menace, and just staying alive. He was so pissed off that he stayed alive.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. I have a problem with dark side characters coming back from the dead, because it just defeats the idea of doing the right thing, right? But I don't mind Maul surviving, but the problem I have is that he's still there. If maybe he had one rematch with Obi-Wan and that's it, but he had several, right? And I don't know. I'm not sure what the idea of using him in a sequel trilogy. I don't know how much that works, but yeah, what I've read is that those ideas were just put together to sweeten the deal for Disney.
Yeah, and we know with treatment ideas and stuff like that, even the script changes for George.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you have the annotated screenplay of the OT there, and then there's other, and I don't know if it's in there, but at one point in George's writing of the OT and the characters and stuff, Han Solo was going to be a green alien.
Yeah.
So at one point, and that significantly changed. And, and then of course, Luke Skywalker was supposed to be Star Killer. There was another name for him. He was General Skywalker at one point. And then when you look into the history of the PT, the prequel trilogy, Count Dooku, or Dooku, whatever you say, I always say it differently. He was going to be a four-armed alien, not a human. Not a human that we see him played by Chris, and so we see the changes. They change. We know George. He is like, no, let's change this, and it could be last minute.
Yeah, and he's an artist. That's how he does Star Wars.
Exactly.
For him, the production, the filming, that's just another draft of the script. So
Mhm.
even even if it's written on a treatment or a first draft, last draft, or even during production, even during the editing,
Yeah,
editing is just another draft for him. And
exactly.
and he even the finished product, right?
Mhm.
He can go back. I always thought it was fascinating that the changes that he made for the special editions, and then more the changes he made for the DVD release, the Blu-ray release. I just
Yeah.
find I thought it was fascinating because I understand that point of view as an artist, that
Mhm.
some artists see their work as perpetually unfinished,
Yeah.
and I understand that. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. And George gets so much criticism for that as well.
Yeah.
Um, about like, oh, well, George Otis, the original version, because he owes the fans, and I'm like, okay, you guys never been artists. You never been stuck on this decision. Like, I'm looking at 4 of my paintings with the Sith eye because they're right in my view.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like looking at like Bane, I still have to put my varnish over it. So that's the finishing touch where you seal it in, so
Hmm.
it doesn't get damaged. And I'm thinking, should I add this or should I, so I'm like, looking at it, we're never done. And at one point we just have to step away and just accept it where it's at. And George had this huge vision of like how he wants these films to look according to even like graphic and how it's viewed on screen, the big screen, the little screen, and all of this. And so that's why he not redid, but that's why he remastered the OT and added things, because he's seen that vision and he wanted to carry it out. He didn't feel it was done yet
Hmm.
during 77, 81, or 80 and 83 or whatever. He didn't feel it was done yet. Once the PT came out and he was able to expand the technology and stuff, he's like, yeah, now I can add some of the ending stuff from the PT to the Revenge or Return of the Jedi and link it. So it's all about
Yeah.
linking everything together as a single story. And he
Yeah.
linked the EU as well.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
EU.
Not a lot of people will understand that. Not, the general audience will not understand that, those changes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to the Clone Wars 03, what was your impression about Anakin versus Asajj? I know you remember, like, I know you remember seeing their battle there on Yavin 4.
Yeah, and the micro series, I thought it was amazing. It was I think it's the well, we saw the in the in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, how lightsabers react in the rain, right? And
Yeah.
we saw this in the micro series. I think that duel in Javin 4 with in the rain, it's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And let's see here. So this one right here, if you know, you know. If you don't, but what is the significance of Asajj's tattoos? She has these like 12 tattoos. Can
Yeah.
you recall?
No, I don't.
Okay, so this is where it's
Hmm.
gonna be like, boom, I
Yeah.
need to read more about her kind of thing.
Yeah, the her origin, because I don't have
Yeah,
her origin. I just think she's
yes,
cool.
I know. We need to get that for you because that's something that you're just gonna have like, oh my god, it's gonna make her character put more depth into her character for you.
Hmm.
So, so a little bit of spoilers here. Her family was killed by 12 warlords, and then her master too.
Hmm.
And so each tattoo was marked on her face for each warlord she went back for revenge.
Oh.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, I need to read about that. Talking EU here, it's I have people of all stages of their experience with EU. Rather, they're very, very well experienced, like Matt Wilkins, versus to, like, I even interviewed someone that, only read a couple of novels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about sparking the interest for
Yeah.
the interviewer that I'm in, or the interviewee. And then
Mm-hmm.
also learning more about your experience with Star Wars, because Star Wars began with the movies. Well, actually, it began with the novel, the
Mm-hmm.
comic, and the movie. But
Yeah.
most of people's inception to Star Wars is through the movies. And then from there, they expand out. Just like the expanded universe. They're like, okay, I want to know what's going on after Revenge of the Sith or after Return of the Jedi, or I'm a gamer. I want to
Mm-hmm.
play games. And so they get the movie games. They get these different themed games like, the TIE Fighter game or whatever, or Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
So it's all about learning more about you as the consumer. I wouldn't say consumer, the fan,
Mm-hmm.
and about your knowledge, and also sparking your interest to get in further.
Yeah.
So that you're like, oh crap, now I need to know these. Okay, Laura, what are you going to text me or message me with these names of these books and these comics that I need to start looking for? So it's all about that, to hype people up, keep the George Lucas era of Star Wars front and center in front of everybody.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job. I gotta say, and this is something I was thinking about, because um, Disney, the first thing Disney did was with Star Wars was throw away the compass.
Mm-hmm, right.
Right, they threw away the expanded universe, which was this treasure chest that George Lucas included in the sale. They just
Mm-hmm.
took that treasure and threw it in the trash, and they rejected George Lucas's ideas for any sequels, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, and they basically destroyed any creative relationship they could have had with George Lucas. Imagine still doing Star Wars with the help of George Lucas. And
Mm-hmm.
and I know he still has a business relationship with Disney, but the creative relationship is gone. It's
Yeah.
gone. So there is no new George Lucas Star Wars being produced. So
Right.
I was thinking about that. How do you grow new George Lucas Star Wars fans if no George Lucas Star Wars is being created anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you're doing helps, it contributes to that, and it's I think you're doing a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's to me, it's not tireless. I think it's something that is needed and it's fun. It creates a bigger community. It brings awareness. And you did answer my very last question for you. What did you think about expanded universe being tossed by Disney? So you really,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there's anything else you
They
want to
threw
say.
away they threw away the compass. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they threw away the compass, and even like Bob Iger in his biography was like, even he even made it clear to George, we have you in here as a consultant, but doesn't mean that we need to use you.
Yeah. That they threw away the compass, and now they're just drifting in space.
Right. And it has turned away a lot of fans. There's a lot of old established, like old long time fans that have been turned away, with their campaign, even in the beginning of, like, basically, the term gaslighting. I know it's been used a lot, but they
Yeah.
basically lit the fans on what was going on with the lore, because they basically alienated the EU fans. I wouldn't say they're the biggest, the casual fans are, but the EU fans kept Star Wars alive between the movies under George Lucas, because they wanted to learn what's going on, or they wanted to play the games or what have you. So they kept the franchise going. And
Yeah.
and so when you alienate your big supporters like that, then you're losing the big money.
Yeah, and I spoke earlier about the two Star Wars worldviews. One is Star Wars is myth. The other one is Star Wars is sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
And what's I mean, you can like Star Wars that way if that's how you like Star Wars. That's okay, but the sandbox worldview relies on the idea that there is no clear definition of what Star Wars is, and it relies on the idea that George Lucas didn't have a clear vision for Star Wars, and both of those things are lies. so
Yeah.
so they will gaslight you. They will say that George didn't have a clear idea of what a clear vision of what Star Wars was. They will say there's no
And this
there's
is
no
all under the
definition.
blanket. Yeah, this is all under the blanket of the will of the Force, like the wills. Like this
Oh.
whole story is under that blanket of the wills, which has a broader expansion of what Star Wars is for George. We've only seen, I would like to say, maybe not even half of his vision or what he has written down as notes for Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's it's a two points of view, right? It's Star Wars is myth, or Star Wars is a sandbox. And yeah, in the from the sandbox worldview, that they will tell you that there is no clear definition of Star Wars, and that's why you get genre transplants like Andor, right? Because if you have to assign us a genre to Star Wars, it's not science fiction, it's not fantasy, much less science fantasy. The genre for Star Wars is mythic melodrama, and the genre for Andor is drama, maybe like a space drama, but it's not the same thing. Melodrama and drama are opposite. They're not. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So, or what they do is, they say we're gonna tell a pirate story, and then they sprinkle a little bit of Star Wars on it, or we're gonna do a samurai story, and they sprinkle some Star Wars, or we're gonna do a western and sprinkle some Star Wars. And I think they got the wrong idea of how George made Star Wars, which is first you have myth. The core of Star Wars is myth, and then you can add like different flavors. You can add a little bit of western, a little bit of Kurosawa, right? But I think that they're doing it the other way around.
Yeah. And a lot of people will coin Star Wars as science fiction because of it being in space and the vehicles and the species and hyperdrive, hyperspace, and all this other stuff. So, and that could be, one of the correlations, but the underlying foundation is myth. And I don't know if you've seen the interview with Joseph Campbell at Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah, I saw it once.
Yeah, so that's a great thing to watch, and like even watch occasionally and stuff like that. And when you get into the EU, and the more you're going to get into the EU, you're going to find out, and some of the authors will say, "Oh, sandbox," because for whatever reason, that's what Lucasfilm deemed or coined these authors being allowed to come in and write for George. They called it a sandbox, but that's not exactly.
But they had the compass. Right. Also, you can play in the sandbox as long as you have your compass.
Exactly.
But Disney is playing in the sandbox, but they threw away the compass.
Right. They threw away that foundation, the compass. And I was going to get to that because each author, everybody who writes, has rules they have to adhere to for writing for George Lucas, adding to or expanding on the movies. And so that's the compass. As you would say, if we were going to, resort to a compass, that's the compass. Is George set the perimeters for them, and it was all about the mythos. There's some kind of mythos going on in a story. Some people can pick them up, some people can't. That's fine. Some people are not that knowledgeable, but as long as they adhere to what George wanted, George had the right to veto stories or bring them about and stuff. So there's that whole conversation about George having control of his own franchise, and he also set people in place for him. So when he got busy, he had trusted people to speak for him or approve things for him because they knew his compass, that they knew where the stories needed to go.
Yeah, and it's not nostalgia. It's not nostalgia. I get that argument a lot. They tell me that that I need to look forward and and that Star Wars needs to grow, but it's not nostalgia. It's architecture. So you build from that. You build from that. No, you don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. So are there any final words that you want to add to as we start coming to a close about your experience with Star Wars or what have you, or what we talked about?
What else can I add? Oh yeah, we need to go to the Lucas Museum.
Oh yes. Oh God.
Yeah, I was thinking, because nothing that's coming up from Disney Star Wars excites me. I'm not like that excited for anything coming from Disney Star Wars. So I was thinking, what is there anything related to Star Wars that I'm excited about? And yeah, the Lucas Museum.
Yeah, and there's a lot. When I see
Yeah.
with pictures, there's a lot in there because that was part of his art.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to the Lucas Museum when it opens. And the other thing that caught my eye was it's a graphic novel called Lucas Wars. Have you heard of that?
What's it called? I didn't hear you. Broke up.
Lucas Wars.
Oh, Lucas Wars. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a comic, a graphic novel made in France.
Okay.
And it's about it's like a biopic. It's like the story of how George Lucas made Star Wars. It looks great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Something to check out and put on your bookshelves as well.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate this conversation with you, getting to know your own adventures, your own experience with Star Wars, past, present, and hopefully the future. We can come back with you, exploring more about Asajj and the era of Star Wars. You want to expand your knowledge more, into more. And so this was such a wonderful conversation. And just your knowledge with George Lucas in general, it's, I loved hearing and experiencing from you. And so thank you so much for participating, taking on this interview and having this conversation with me. And thank you for the support as well.
No, thank you. Thanks for the invitation. This was great.
Yeah. So as we end here, is there any shows or anything that you're doing in the future that you want to advertise, or is there any, do you have any lives coming up on your channel?
Well, I would like to show you an image.
Okay.
And I don't know if I can share screen or I can send you the image and you
can share
show
screen if you want to. Click click below
Okay.
on the, and I'll show it.
Okay, let me see. Share screen. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what I'm going to show is a new design I'm going to have at the Nerdmigos merch store. This is a new design for our merch store.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't see it popping up oh, here we go. Here it is.
Here we go.
Okay, so let's go ahead and bring this up. All right, so go ahead and tell about it.
Yeah, this is a new design. It's not finished. It's not finished, but I wanted to give you and your audience a preview.
Okay.
And
more.
So it should be on the store soon.
Okay, so you guys go over there to the store. Everybody's loving it. Look at that.
So you're the first to see this. It's just a preview.
Oh,
And
so this is a first view exclusive. Thank you so much for sharing it on the channel as well. Thank you so much. Oh,
it's a work in progress, but
okay.
it should be on the stores very soon. And that's it. So we have a merch store, and I want to invite you to nerdmigos.com, our website. We do have a weekly podcast. Please recommend it to any Spanish speaking nerds you have in your family and friends.
Yeah.
And that's it. And also, if you're interested in checking out more of my art, you can look for me online with my handle is IAMO Doodles. Those are my initials, IAMO, and the word Doodles. That's how you find me everywhere online.
Okay, IAMO Doodles. Okay. All right. So thank you again so much. Thank you for the audience. We had like maybe about almost 90 people listening here on YouTube and Twitter. And soon Rumble will be added as well. I just have to relink my channel back to my channel on Rumble. There's a disconnect and I have to go take care of that. And so thank you again so much for this time. And thank you for being the voice on the Spanish side of the nerd fandom for Star Wars and beyond. It's wonderful to have that and see that. And, myself, like I shared, we have like with the Native American culture, different tribes, they're doing their efforts as well. And love to see this expansion and fans of all ethnicities enjoying themselves. So thank you again. And thank you, chat, as well. And you have a good night. Oh, and then before I leave, I will be on Darth, our Bane of Sith. I was going to say Darth Bane, but Bane of Sith's Rumble channel. We are going to go over the new Jedi Orders, Agents of Chaos 2 Jedi Eclipse, me, Matt Wilkins, and Purist, or Darth Bane, basically. So come over there, and that's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, my time. So about less than 15 minutes. So thank you again. And you guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you, Eugene. Goodbye, guys.
Someone asked me to give the best reason why someone should read the Expanded Universe. After giving it a lot of thought, here's what I have to say. The Expanded Universe respects the reader. In the Expanded Universe, Luke Skywalker's optimism continues where it left off in Return of the Jedi. He's fulfilled hope to the galaxy, just like Obi-Wan said he would, not like the Disney movies where he gave up on the Jedi, or even the whole galaxy for that matter. The character you see in those movies is not Luke. Luke isn't a quitter. He's not a pessimist. He's a leader. He's inspirational. And he's always there for his friends in times of need. Another character is Han Solo. He's introduced to us in A New Hope as a loner, a man who cares only for himself and nobody else. But by the end of Return of the Jedi, that all turns around when he finally finds friends he can trust and a true love to spend the rest of his life with. And that's exactly what he does in the Expanded Universe. Han is a devoted husband and father to Leia and their kids. He loves his family above all else. In the new movies, Han turns out to be a selfish deadbeat dad who ran out on his family when things get tough. It's a complete 180 from the character that we saw from Return of the Jedi. Now, another thing the EU does is it rewards its readers. Attention to detail when it comes to continuity has never been done at such a level as when it was performed by the Expanded Universe. Avid readers will constantly be rewarded for their diligence as comics, novels, video games, and even children's books share connections throughout the entire series, making it almost a flawless, continuous story. And though it has its minor flaws, it's still the best overall story and continuity out there, period. That's what the EU does. It respects and rewards its readers. And that's the best reason you should give it a try. Long live the Expanded Universe.
Another happy landing.